Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time zone you're in. Thank you for checking out my opinion. So, welcome back. Welcome back. Today, we have another perspective, another view of the whole migration thing. Like I said, I was going to keep an eye on this migration. Now we're going on a different angle. We're looking at a different perspective. Now we have 700,000 undocumented Indian migrants for deportation. So let's get into this, and we'll give our opinion afterwards.
3 weeks ago, images of shackled Indians boarding U.S. military planes for deportation sparked outrage in India and beyond. Well, the scenes were a result of Donald Trump's hard line on immigration, and they fueled fear in Indian villages where many are waiting for their chance to chase the American dream. DW's Adil Bhatt traveled to Haryana state to meet people who have felt the brunt of Trump's new policies and found a place where thousands are still willing to risk their lives for a more prosperous future.
Okay, so let's start with the first comment. Isn't there, don't they have like work visas? I mean, I don't know how that works. Maybe they hand out a certain amount of work visas, but I mean, if they don't, people, if they're looking for work, if they are really there looking for work, then a work visa, right? I mean, I don't know how that works, but I know you can obtain one of those.
Baluram and Sheila's family have farmed this land for generations. Now it's no longer theirs. The couple sold it off to pay for their son Vikram's illegal journey to the United States, where he dreamed.
He screwed up, cost his family
of building a better life for himself. Vikram made it there, via Mexico. But the joy of having arrived in the US didn't last long. In November last year, Vikram was detained.
If our son gets deported, we will have no means to survive.
Since Donald Trump has returned to the White House, his parents worry that Vikram will be next.
Every time a deportation flight takes off, we live in fear that our son might be on board. We sent him to the US out of sheer helplessness. The government here is not providing jobs, so sending him abroad for work, even as a labourer, seemed like it would bring good fortune to all of us.
Vikram's parents paid $70,000 for their son's journey to the US. It was all in vain.
This is sad. This is sad and upsetting at the same time. Sad because you $70,000 in U.S. money. That wow. I don't think they planned this out right. Nothing was planned out correctly. You could have had the time from what I understand, they had this farm, they were farming it, and then they sent their kid to the U.S. for more money, and it didn't go out right. Okay, so why wasn't he there working their farm or their land, and then at the same time filling out for a U.S. work visa? I don't know.
Since my son was detained, I have fallen sick. I visit my doctor regularly. My blood pressure has risen, and my health has been deteriorating.
In the past 3 weeks, more than 350 undocumented Indian migrants were deported back home, most of them in shackles and on military planes. Among them is 20-year-old Akash. He tells me about the 9-month journey he embarked on to reach the US, walking through jungles and crossing rivers. Not everyone made it through alive, he says.
We experienced many difficulties. On the route, I witnessed members of my group die because of hunger. Our agents kept us without water and food for days. Sometimes we had to cross entire forests without any food. Half of my brain feels paralyzed now. I don't recall half the things I saw, and my heart still trembles with horror.
9 days after having reached his destination, Akash was deported back to India.
What did you think was going to happen? You're going to get there and they're going to say, okay, you went through a whole bunch of, all kind of crazy stuff. So you can come in and do whatever you want just because you're special and you thought you could go through all this and make it here. There are ways to do it. Maybe they didn't know. Maybe, I don't know. But, the outcome is not going to be any good for doing all that. You did all that for nothing because you got right back to deported. You got deported right back to India. And then your family doesn't have any land.
Despite stories like Akash's, the illegal migration business is thriving in villages of India's northern Haryana state. A vast network of human traffickers is active here, with so-called migration agents making a fortune out of people's dreams of a better life in the US. One such agent agrees to speak to us.
There are times when I feel bad, but it is my business. We're able to do this because people come to us. We don't force anyone to take an illegal route. The craze for the US among people is so strong that they don't care about their lives. 10 years ago, we received around 500 requests a month. Nowadays, it's up to 5,000.
The scale of it has alarmed authorities, who have tasked police officers with cracking down on illegal migration agents. Police officer Mukesh Kumar says it's an uphill struggle.
Well, nobody knows what's going on. Nobody knows how to properly do things. I mean, you got the human trafficker guys that are, we get 500 requests a month. And so we have to, process things so that we can get our money. But these guys either die or get captured and sent back, and then they start all over again. So it's a revolving door business for these guys, but a fatal end for the people that are asking for this business. Sad. Sad, very sad.
Struggle. Smugglers are sophisticated and easily get out of prison on bail.
They should take stricter action against these agents, make it a non-bailable offence and seize their property. There should be no bail.
There you go. There is your solution. Now, hopefully they can push that through and make it like that. So it can't be a revolving door for these guys, because if they get caught doing it, no bail, he bailed out, now if they get caught doing it, take their property, do all that stuff, take it all. Like you caught them with, a bunch of drugs and stuff like that. It's just equivalent, if it's not even worse, trafficking. There you go. Do that.
As they are ruining the lives of our youth.
For Akash, stricter action comes too late. He will have to resume life in India, now buried in heavy debt and reeling from the trauma of a journey that shattered his American dream.
Let's get a bit of context here. I'm very pleased to welcome.
He looked very happy, didn't he? No, he was not happy at all. Oh, man. Well, maybe someone can tell him it's too late. It's too late. Maybe when you're 50 or 60, you could start over in America or try again. But you just ruined everything that you worked for or your parents worked for.
Manoj Joshi, a distinguished fellow at the Delhi think tank Observer Research Foundation. Welcome to DW. I'd like to start by asking you how much damage you think these videos of the U.S. deportations to India have done to America's image in India.
I think certainly they have done a certain amount of damage, particularly in Punjab, Haryana, maybe Gujarat. But the thing is that most people are also aware that there was a certain illegality in what these people were doing. So there is a sense of ambivalence, I would say. So yes, the pictures of people being shackled, those were not very well taken by the people here. They simply could not understand why that was happening.
And is there political willpower in India to try to crack down on smugglers like the ones we've just seen in our report, who are helping those who want to go to the United States try to make the effort?
Well, as your own program, I think the police officer pointed out that trying to preempt is a problem because that doesn't quite become a crime until the person actually does something. And trying to crack down on this is difficult. You don't have adequate laws which prohibit this kind of activity. And the thing is that migration for many people who live in those areas is a kind of dream. They are spending huge sums of money, meaning the same money, if they were able to invest somewhere, they would probably do better.
My man's feed is crazy. You must plug it in, guy. Get off the Wi-Fi, plug it in. It always helps.
But that kind of sums that we're talking about are incredible. They sell their capital, they sell their land, and they migrate, and inevitably they get into trouble.
So is it a misconception among many that this is a worthwhile investment, a worthwhile journey for them to make? And I'm curious also how the government could make improvements to the economy to offer workers prospects at home so that they don't take up these opportunities abroad.
Well, certainly the employment situation in India could be much, much better. And as your own program has brought out, that where the agent has said that he used to get 500 people, he's now getting 5,000. So there is a serious employment situation in India, which means that you really need people with job skills that match the jobs that are available. Whereas when you travel to a country like, say, the United States, you are taking up low-paying jobs or low-level jobs which don't really require skills. They may be in agriculture, they may be in construction. The jobs may be, cleaning a place as a janitor. So they're willing to do that. But they're not willing to do the same things here in India. And in part, the issue of caste comes in. They are not willing to do certain jobs here because they have a strong sense of their caste identity, and they think that that will be violated.
I don't understand. I don't know how their economy works over there, but I understand what my guy here is saying. It's definitely different everywhere around in the world. The concerns are different in different places.
That is so interesting. There is also a bigger political dimension here too, of course. We have to point to relations with the U.S., the fact that many in India looked at these deportation videos and then accused Prime Minister Narendra Modi of not confronting President Donald Trump about this. Has there been any update to that in the last few weeks?
Not really, because I don't think that, I think, as I said, that there is an ambivalence because people realize that these people have done something wrong. The problem, of course, the images that came out of the shackled personnel, those were resented a great deal, but no one seems to be doing anything about it. And, if you look at the India-US joint statement in Prime Minister Modi's visit to the US, both India and the US have committed to act against illegal immigration networks and organized crime syndicates. So both are agreed that we must crack down on these organized crime syndicates and the networks because some of them also include narco-terrorists, arms traffickers, and other kind of elements who do illegal work. So I think that's not the issue. Both countries are agreed on that. And India's interest is in trying to push for legal migration in all the legal areas where more and more Indians can go there and they have access to jobs which pay very well, meaning we are talking of educated people who go through the H-1B visas to the US.
Thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah, see, there he goes, talking about the work visas. There you go. That is an option. My man just said it right there. Yep.
Sharing your insights today. It's been so interesting talking to you. We've been speaking with Manoj Joshi from Delhi's Observer Research Foundation.
Thank you.
Sriram Chaulia is Dean of International Relations at Ope Jindal Global University near Delhi and host of the show Indian Diplomacy on the state-run channel DD India. Welcome to DW. Now, we just saw that video of shackled Indians being deported on U.S. military planes set to dramatic music, a video published by the U.S. government. What did you think when you first saw that video?
Well, the initial reaction was, most of us thought that it was unwarranted. But we understand, the Trump ideology and the Trump politics back home, and we've been following that many countries have faced a similar fate where their unauthorized illegal immigrants have been sent back in similar fashion. So it's not a unique thing that has been meted out only to Indian immigrants per se. And I think the big picture also remains that we have more than 5.1 million Indian Americans in the US, through the legal route. So while there are reportedly 700,000 or more unauthorized migrants, there is a bigger relationship we have with the US, and cooler heads have prevailed wherein we want to sustain our strategic partnership with the US to counterbalance China. The US is our major number one trade partner, number one investor. So I think people are taking it in stride to an extent, but of course those visuals are disturbing, and we have communicated that there should be a better way of sending them back.
Okay, I'm gonna say this. A man must have his Ethernet cable plugged in because his feed is on point. He didn't skip, dibble, dabble, nothing. Good job, my guy. Good job.
Okay, what was the response you got from the U.S. government?
Well, as you know, like I said, it's an ideological thing. It's for Trump, it's a national security or like a war-like situation. That's why they're using military planes and handcuffing people. And I don't think any country really has leverage to stop these practices. I mean,
well, Colombia did change that practice, actually. Sorry to jump in there, but the Colombian president was outraged by the way his citizens were returned to his country, and he did come to an agreement with the U.S. government that they would not be brought back shackled and they would not be brought back on military planes. Why can't India do the same?
Oh, no. You cannot dictate when your people are doing illegal things in other countries. Now, if you had certain things in place so that your people would not want to do that, then, that wouldn't happen. That would not happen. But to dictate, no, I don't want my people shackled, brought back. Well, make some policies or something to where your people don't have to want to leave somewhere illegally. Okay, but you cannot dictate when it's law in another country that this is how we are going to handle things. You're getting your people back. We have to set an example. You cannot come over here like this. This is how things are going to go when you do. Could be worse. I mean, how many people have failed coming across there? Okay, say there's 15,000 people that came across, but 10,000 people came back because on the way, some of them had passed away. You're losing your population. It's just...
Well, like I said, we have a major strategic partnership with the US, and we have to manage Trump for 4 years, So I think the view is that Colombia does not have to counterbalance China. We have a big China problem on our borders and in the Indo-Pacific, So I think there's a big relationship with the US. We have many pillars in it. This immigration aspect is only one out of maybe 20 different things we are doing with the US, in advanced technology, in defense cooperation, and so many other fields. So I think the counterbalancing of China is our number one priority. So we will try to maintain a kind of like a soft dialogue with them on this matter. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has taken it up with President Trump, and we will see what happens. I mean, ultimately, we are a responsible country when we want to take back people who are our citizens but are violating laws in other countries.
Isn't it?
Well said, my guy. Articulated very, very well. Very well. Very well.
A bad sign for the Modi government that the Indian economy can't offer prospects for so many young people that they flee to the U.S. for a better life. You mentioned the 700,000 illegal immigrants from India and the U.S.
Look, there is growth in India. It is the fastest growing major economy. There is a lot of optimism in this country. A lot of people are coming from the lower classes and entering the middle classes. But still, we have a 1.5 billion population. We are what is classified as a low middle income country. We are not yet a middle income country like China. So, it will take time for these structural problems to be fixed. So in the meantime, there are these, unscrupulous human smugglers, as your own report showed, who are capitalizing on people's dreams or selling them dreams, which is capitalizing on their naivety and their helplessness. So yes, we need to generate more employment at home, and we are on the job, but it is going to be a long haul because developing countries, migration patterns are always from south to north globally. So I think that cannot be stopped altogether, but we will want to make sure there are more opportunities at home so such tragedies are not repeated.
Professor Sriram Chalia of Ope Jindal Global University and host of the show Indian Diplomacy on State-Owned TV. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
So, in conclusion, I think, on both sides, they tried to save face on both sides. So there are some things that, the people from the migrants, country says to make it like, yes, we're trying to do this and we're trying to do that. And from the U.S., they're trying to say, okay, we're handling things like this and we're doing, things like that. They're just trying to save face. But anyway, you got to go with what you see. You know what I mean? You got to go with what you see. Unless you were there on the ground, you have to do your research and figure it all out. But this is my opinion at the end of the day. Now, another thing I was thinking and curious, all these other countries, you have a lot of countries that are leaving their land to come to the United States for work. Now, do the United States people leave here and go to other countries for work? I mean, like in a mass amount? I'll have to look into that. If anybody knows, let me know down in the comments, because that would be pretty fascinating because we grow up seeing everybody else doing it, but do we do it in that manner? I don't know. So let me know down in the comments. Subscribe if you want to see me doing this more. I will be doing this. And also don't miss, I'm going to be doing my first live stream next month. On the 7th, we're going to go over some things. I have footage from the J6. Whenever the news captured it, I went and copied it. I got the live streams, and I know some of it changed. But I have the first live streams of it, and I will be showing that. So make sure you don't miss that. Subscribe and check out other videos, about this migration. I'm going to stay on this migration because that's one of the biggest things that was said in the Trump campaign was the deportation of the migrants. So I'm going to watch and see different videos from different perspectives of the migration, and we can put it all the way together and see how this migration thing is going and see if it's actually doing good or doing bad. All right, until next time, that's all I have. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night. Thanks for listening to my opinion. Bye.